we are living in 2026 and people still think that K-pop idols are actually DMing them and talking to them. Now, I guess that actually shouldn't come as a surprise because it's a general scam and people get scammed all the time regardless if it's in the K-pop community or not, right? And now I know everybody wants to laugh like, oh, of course the K-pop idol's not talking to you, right? But before I go any further, I just want to say, like, yes, for me or for you or for anybody, we know what's obviously a scam and obviously a K-pop idol's not actually talking to us, right? It's just common sense, just something we know. Essentially, we're just not actually delusional. We might be delulu, but we're not actually delusional, you know what I mean? But some people aren't like that, Everybody has different things going on, and some people aren't as capable of discerning things, or might be at a certain point in their life where they're more vulnerable to be taken advantage of. And that's why in 2026, these things still do happen to the people that this has happened to, and the specific person in this video. I don't think we should be making fun of them because obviously there's something there in which they're not potentially in the right presence of mind. So yeah. However, with that being said, I can't promise that I will not laugh at the videos because they are quite insane, to be honest. So yeah, I can't promise I won't laugh, but at the end of the day, let's not make fun of the people that have been taken advantage of in this type of situation. Okay, let's actually watch the video.
I was duped by a sasaeng pretending to be Bang Chen, and this is how it started. And through a series of events, I found myself in a live stream with someone in the chat who was acting suspiciously like Bang Chen. The same syntax, the same way that he messages on Bubble, and it was a little bit weird. But everybody else seemed to be going along with it, so I thought maybe they know something that I don't. And maybe they have evidence that it really is Christopher Bang Chen. But we're all keeping it hush-hush because if it really is him, we don't want everyone in the entire world.
So someone's going into the chat of a live stream on a podcast talking like Bang Chan and saying they're Bang Chan. Like, come on. I'm sorry, but come on. Like, we need to be doing better than this.
There was a tiny part of me that was like, there's no freaking way that this is actually Bang Chen.
There should have been more than a tiny part of you. They should have been the whole of you. Because it is, how can you believe that in a random live stream and a random podcast, Bang Chan is just there exposing himself like, yep, I'm Bang Chan. I'm speaking like Bang Chan, so it must be Bang Chan.
But it was exciting and it was thrilling. And those were the best.
That little part there makes me feel like what I said at the start is even more correct. The part about being vulnerable, they said it was exciting and thrilling. Like, it's like they wanted this in their life to sort of, I don't know. I don't want to assume anything about the life, but maybe it gives them a bit more meaning or something. That they needed that excitement and thrill of thinking they're actually talking to one of their roots. It's like they wanted it to be real because they needed it to be real.
And feel like I was being seen. It was really fun. But that's exactly what they wanted me to feel.
And that's exactly what they wanted me to feel. This is like the start of one of those Netflix true crime documentaries. And now it's going to fade to black, and now we're going to just get the full backstory of this whole thing, which is actually what's about to happen. So yeah, let's go.
Because it shut off any critical thinking.
I don't think there was any critical thinking in the first place.
So here's how they made me believe that they were Bang Chen.
Also, it says a Sesang. Like, I wouldn't know where the Sesang part
honestly,
comes
it
into
still
this,
makes me
because
shake my
at
head.
this point it just feels like some weirdo on the internet.
From day one, this person said, I am not going to prove myself to you.
So, okay, I'm Bang Chan, but I'm not going to prove it to you, but you're going to believe it anyway.
Put my members, my company, my contracts under any kind of danger just to prove that I am who I say I am. Basically washing themselves of any responsibility for what was about to happen.
Bang Chan said, hey, I'm about to do some fucked up shit. And because I didn't prove anything, I could get in trouble. Like, what could go wrong, really?
But here's the thing that I didn't see coming. This person knew stuff. They knew about the Gov Ball. They knew details about what the guy's hair changes were before anyone else seemed to know.
Okay, so I guess this is where the Sesang part comes in, is they knew things about Stray Kids or Bang Chan.
Seemed to add up to say this is Bang Chen. At the very least, this is somebody who is very close to the group and knows them.
Let's say even if they did have this inside info and you're like, wait, this could be believable, you have to think, out of everybody, why is Bang Chan just randomly talking to you and telling them inside information for absolutely no reason?
I had that little in the back that maybe it's not. how could they possibly know if they weren't really Bang Chen? And that's where the gaslighting was.
Part 4.
Talk about being gaslit, but this really is what gaslighting is. It's making you think you're the crazy one because you dared to question. So anytime something would happen and you'd want to ask, it was a question mark up in the air that you didn't feel like you could ask because it was disrespectful. Because look at all of this evidence that proved that it really was him. This one thing being wrong shouldn't count, shouldn't matter. So that gaslighting continued again and again and again, over and over and over.
So they were gaslighting you into thinking you're Bang Chen. So you would question like, this is kind of sus. I'm Bang Chen, you can't say that. And it carried on for months. Like, come on, at the first, let's say you believed it initially. Again, at the first sight of that happening, surely you've got to be like, okay, I know what's happening here. This is like some bullshit.
I wasn't functioning at the highest capacity, to the point where my husband himself was starting to get really concerned and wanted me to back away completely. But I kept coming back to something that had been told to me from the very beginning. They're not asking for money. They're not asking for sexual favors. It's not hurting anyone. People were being hurt, are being hurt by this individual. And I was about to find the smoking gun because they made a critical mistake.
They made a critical mistake. But I feel like it was known from the start that this is just some random fucking weirdo, right? Or it should have been, at least, anyway. And it's sad that the delusion has gotten to the point of where it's ruining your own life and also apparently your family's life. Let's see where the story continues anyway, because I want to know what this mistake is.
I'm sure at this point you guys are wondering, how could you have ignored all the signs? There had to have been signs that this person was not who they said they were. And there were. There were a lot of them. And I ignored every single one because I felt special.
It is bad that you are the victim of this, but you were the victim of yourself as well, unfortunately, because you've just said there was a lot of signs and you did nothing about it. So you coming across as a victim here, but it is pretty much your own doing. As bad as I feel saying that, it is, unfortunately.
I felt like I had been chosen. I felt seen.
Because if anybody in a right state of mind wouldn't have ever even gotten to this point and ignoring all these signs of even messaging someone and thinking they're an idol.
Where things started to fall apart for me was when I started talking about music. I have a degree in vocal performance from the University of Utah, and that's where things started to fall apart. Instead of saying sheet music, this person said music sheet. Instead of talking about a side chain, they were...
Wait, this was not going where I thought it was going. So this is the major mistake. Out of everything that's happened, all of the signs, them saying music sheet instead of sheet music is where it all falls apart. Okay, this is a bit more mad than I thought it was going to be. Holy shit.
And when I asked about things like the DAW that they used, they questioned me, not understanding what I was asking.
Bang Chan, he doesn't know what FL Studio is. We've got him chat, we've got him. Bang Chan doesn't know what FL is.
All of this started coming up, but there was always that 1% chance that was getting smaller by the day, but that 1% chance that it was real that kept me on the hook.
So the 1%, it wasn't a 1%, it was a 0% chance. But you continue to talk to them and thinking it was real, even though in your head you knew it wasn't real, even though deep down they knew it wasn't real. They just couldn't help the delusion and just kept going with it. A sad state of affairs.
Here's how I found out the truth.
Part 6. Let's go.
I had broken contact with this person because of all of the mind games and the gaslighting, and I couldn't handle it anymore. But through a series of events, I found out that they were feeling really, really horrible about not being able to talk to me anymore. And so I felt really bad and I wanted to fix it. So I reached out to them. And this is where their fatal error happened.
I thought we just had the fatal error of the sheet music. Let's see.
At this point, they had been sharing music with us, a small group of us, that was very obviously made by AI.
Oh, come on. So they were very obviously sharing... Okay, I think that's actually a bit too much for me now, to where I can't feel bad. They were sharing like, I'm guessing early Stray Kids music, which was obviously made by AI, and you still thought it was real. Like, come on.
Very obviously made by AI. But they always denied it when pressed and saying, no, I don't use AI. I don't use AI. And this person banked on the idea that none of us would know the patterns. None of us would know how to look it up. But they didn't understand what my husband does. My husband works on the cutting edge of AI. He works with agentic AI. And I set my AI, her name is Victoria, to deep dive into all of these tracks that were being sent.
And they use
One
AI,
after
okay, because it's
another,
getting worse
after
by the
another,
minute.
after another, were coming back with Suno AI watermarks on the tracks. I had all of the evidence I needed, but I didn't know who it was still. I was about to find out because they made one final step that destroyed their facade.
So you didn't tell us what the signs were, but apparently there were a lot of signs you ignored. And then they also were sending you AI music, which you knew was AI music, claiming it was Stray Kids music, and that you're still going along with it. Like, there's no defending this, even a low percent anymore. The big reveal, the finale is coming up. Come on.
What ended up being the smoking gun for me that turned it from just, I'm going to block you and turn you away, was they sent me a GarageBand audio with metadata in it and named. I now had the impersonator's name.
Oh,
and I looked it up.
Let's go.
And we found everything. Where this person lives,
Fucking
what their
hell.
name is, the day that all this stuff was created, how long things took to generate. We found all of the information necessary to pin this person down. The thing that gets me the most is that it took that to get me to wake up.
I think that's what gets us all the most. The fact that that is actually what it took you. Like, Jesus Christ.
But it did. And I now have a report that is on its way to JYP as we speak with
JYP?
All the pertinent information. I'm going to share with you now the usernames that this person is using.
Fucking hell. There's no way that that TikTok account fooled you. Oh my... The TikTok account. I was not expecting that TikTok account to pop out. Like, there's no way that he's getting anyone. I'm just so everyone's aware. Nah, Kasuriach 97 isn't actually a Bang Chan in case they tell you it is.
Because I will be sharing all of this with JYPE.
JYPE himself is going to sort this out.
I'm sorry I didn't wake up sooner. I'm sorry it took me so long to figure it out. But if my story can help just one person not go through what I've been through, idols are never going to reach out to you personally. They're never going to jump on podcasts and talk about things that...
At least we know, no. At least you've come to this conclusion that is at least a happy ending for you. At least you understand now. I'm going to get some mean
comments about how stupid I was, and they can't believe that I was taken in. I was being stupid. And I wasn't trusting myself.
Okay, we got one final part. Let's just listen to this and then have a conclusion.
I had one final communication with them, calling them out, telling them exactly how I knew who they were and what they were doing. By 7:00 p.m. today, all of the known accounts that I have all been deleted.
Okay, this is a boring part now. It's just saying that they deleted their accounts. Like,
There's a lot of people that are saying, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. I can't believe, this person was meticulous at creating an emotional connection before they ever asked for anything. And they never asked for money, and they never asked for sex.
They keep bringing that point up. I don't think the point is valid of they never asked for money and they never asked for, like, it doesn't matter. Like,
and how was I vulnerable to this? Because I had just moved across the country. I had lost my entire support system. I was lonely, and I didn't really have anywhere else to turn.
It's a sad situation about someone who is mentally vulnerable and not in their right mind, unfortunately, and we don't want to make fun of the individual person, but just remember, be delulu, but don't be delusional. Your idol is never going to speak to you. Your idol is never going to DM you. And if they do, they're and let's just say on the 0.001% chance they do, it's going to be on a burner account and they're going to be some random shit. They're not actually going to pretend to be themselves, or they're not actually going to say, yes, this is me, this is your idol. You know, it's just going to be some random bullshit. I feel like people watching this will know anyway. But yeah, your idol is never going to message you. And if someone ever says they do, it's obviously not them. And if it is, just still assume it's not them. So yeah, it is a sad situation. But at the end of the day, this person has pretty much no one to blame but themselves, unfortunately for them. But yeah, at least they seem to have learned a lesson at the end of it.